Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babies in their diapers, welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
That's me, Tiberius.
Today, we're going to talk about some very awesome stuff. We have a video about being a shady loan shark, a book about the Babysitters Club, and this one is dealing with snobs. And today, we're going to have a totally awesome guest. Today, we have the one, the only, the amazing Steve Morse. Steve works at RCI Adventures and makes amazing clip and climbing attractions for theme parks and businesses.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Thanks for having me. Not only do we make climbing walls, but we make ropes courses. We make net play adventures. We're all over the world, and I'm excited to be here.
Nice. Well, today we're going to start off with a video game of the week, and this is going to be some loaning.
And now it's time for the video game of the week.
Today's video game is Sadie Sam Loan Shark. This game is about next-gen personal finance. This is a website that teaches you about personal finance. You can click it and find it at ngpf.org and click on the arcade button. Oh, and all the games are free! So you start the game and they teach you how to play, but I'll give you a shorter version. So you are a loan shark. People walk up to your office and ask you for loans. You're supposed to give them a loan that gives you the most money back. After the person tells you how much money they need, then they will give you three choices. One loan for someone's house, and then another one for like a business idea, and so forth. And you have to figure out which one you should give them so you make the most money. And next, you have to choose more and more loans, and I see which ones actually matter. Now, I was thinking about the more I'm making means the people getting the loans are losing that amount. Borrowing money is really not a good thing for the person that needs the money because the interest gets more and more. I also learned like the fluctuating value and the fixed one, or whatever they're called, but one of them makes a whole lot more money because you can just like keep it low interest so that way they actually get the deal and then jack it up later and you have to pay so much money back. Well, I got my dad to play and he was very good at it. He at the end had like $200,000. I did a little better and doubled him and saved $400,000.
Good job.
Thank you. I give Shady Sam Loan Shark 10 out of 10 stars because I really like this game getting my loan interest to very high. I really enjoy that it's challenging and keeps me on my toes. My dad said it's a good way to learn about how not to get sucked in to pay for loans because of how much you can lose if you are borrowing money.
That is good advice.
And now it's time for the book of the week, The Babysitters Club, Christy and the Snobs. This book is written by Anne Martin. Let me read the back of the book. In fact, Steve, would you like to do the honors?
I will. Christy's mom got remarried, and their family moved to the ritzy neighborhood across town. The other members of the Babysitters Club think it's a good opportunity to get some new business, but the kids who live nearby, they're not very friendly.
Well, this is an ad book worth one whole point. It's rated for 3rd grade in the 2nd month. That is not a lot of points because it's a graphic novel, but the subject matter is made for teens. So in book 10 of the Babysitters Club, we start off with Christy waking up and getting to eat breakfast. Then Christy's mom asks Christy to get David and Michael, her brother, to get him ready for breakfast. Also, Louie, their dog, was limping and whining and there was a cut on his paw. Next, they reported to the mom, and then the mom said, "We'll go to the vet today to see what's wrong." So they went outside for school after that. Next, after school, the whole family goes to see the vet to see what the problem with Louie is. Also, because Christy moved to her stepfather's house, her neighbors are what she calls snobs because they act not nice to other people and brag about how rich they are and how they're so fancy. Next, something crazy happens when Christy is babysitting someone in the neighborhood, but I can't tell you because I want you to read the book. I give the Babysitters Club, Christy and the Snobs, 13 out of 10 stars because I liked that at the end Shannon, one of the snobs, and Christy become good friends and even got a puppy from Shannon's dog because she was so nice to her. Last, Christy called the puppy Shannon from remembrance that Shannon was a good friend.
How does a book get 13 out of 10?
Because it can.
Okay, you get some bonus ones.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org.
And now it's time for an interview of an interesting person. Today's guest is going to be so much fun. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing Steve Morse.
Hey, sorry you couldn't find an interesting person. I'm happy to be here, though, nonetheless.
You're a very interesting person. And Steve works at RCI Adventures, and he makes amazing climbing attractions for theme parks and businesses.
We do. We have hundreds of these throughout the world. Not only do we have climbing walls, we have ropes courses, we have on-harness net play, we have human mazes. We've got basically anything you can think of that's fun and you can do in the air or on the ground. That's a neat product.
So first off, how are you enjoying being on the show?
Well, I love being on the show. Thanks for having me. It's great to meet you virtually, and I'm so excited.
No problem. Okay, so you were listed as someone that builds attractions where people climb and do all sorts of adventures. Can you explain a little bit how these attractions work?
Yeah, absolutely. So all of our attractions are 100% safe. It's one of the things that we look for, and it's the reason why we have so many patents and safety features involved with all of our attractions. So anytime you're off the ground, you're hooked into some sort of a system that our product is unique for and has a special way of making sure it's 100% safe.
So how long have you been doing this?
I've been here for close to 5 years, working out of our home base here in Michigan.
Nice. So are all these attractions outdoors or indoors?
No, we have both outdoors and indoors. Very often you will see our attractions over an arcade indoors. We're on major cruise ships. We're on
nice.
25 or 30 cruise ships throughout the world. We have installations in the Middle East, almost every state in the country other than Alaska and Hawaii. I think are the only two. So other than that, we're pretty much anywhere you can find us.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Now, I did an indoor skydiving thing, and I learned that I do really not have heights. Well, do I have to worry about falling?
No, absolutely not. We're going to make sure that you're in a tracking system that is unique to RCI. And once you're in this tracking system on the ground level, you have no ability to get out of it. So what that means is if you fall, if you slip for some reason, you're going to go down about this far, which is, you can't see my bottom hand there. It's about a foot. You're going to go down about a foot. And you're going to pull yourself back up or get back on that element and try again.
Okay. Now, my dad said that you have sky trails, sky rails, and clip and climb adventures, and even mazes. What is the most fun for you to do?
Yeah, I like the sky rail. The sky rail is that zipping experience where there's nothing underneath you. You sit down in your harness and you glide along. Near you in Destin, Florida, glide. So near you in Destin, Florida, there's a very, very large outdoor installation that we have that has 8 or 10 sky rails on it. It's really, really neat.
Ooh, okay. Now, your company works with a lot of cool businesses like Main Event right here in Orlando. What type of businesses are you looking for your attractions?
Yeah, so our attractions fit into many places. We're in the Mall of America. We're on cruise ships, like I mentioned. We're in many family entertainment centers. We're in major zoos, Atlanta Zoo, Philadelphia Zoo. Those are a couple I can think of off the top of my head. We're in shopping centers, pretty much anywhere where we have a large amount of people and we want to get them engaged and have them do something fun. That's a perfect spot for us.
Okay, cool. So if a business puts your attraction in their building, how do they make money?
Yeah, so usually they're going to charge for it. About the only customer or client of ours that usually includes that as part of the experience are cruise ships. Everybody else charges, and that's individual for the size of the project. It's individual for the location they're in. But it's a for-profit activity, and that's how they generate their revenue.
Nice. So
Yeah.
what's the hardest part about working with adventure attractions?
I think the hardest part that we have is having enough space because we need a certain clearance level above in order to get people off the ground. We don't want them 2 feet off the ground because that's not very fun. We want them 10 or 12 feet off the ground. That's way more fun. So we want to make sure that we have enough space with the ceiling height above us to be able to put our attractions in.
Okay. So what is the coolest part about doing your job?
I think for me, the coolest part is taking a concept and turning that over to our design team, which is internal here at our home base. And then having that design team take that vision and create something that could be something that we've done before, but it could be something completely out of the box. And that's really exciting to me.
Nice. So how long does it have to build and install one of your adventure attractions?
Yeah, good question. Usually we need 3 to 4 months for our entire process. We've certainly done ones quicker, and there's certainly large projects that take longer. But what happens is we come up with a design idea. Then we have to go to our engineering department, make sure this is safe. If an earthquake comes, if a hurricane comes, whatever that is that's happening in the particular area that we're dealing with, we want to make sure that attraction's safe no matter what happens. We go to manufacturing, which we do all of out of here in our location. We put the attraction up, and then we've got to train that staff and make sure everybody understands how to safely operate it.
Okay. Do you have like smaller ones?
Yeah, I mean, smaller is relative. You probably would still look at it and think it's pretty large. But we do have a smallest version is what we call a 5-pole, and that's just 5 columns with elements, which are the things you walk between in between them. For climbing walls, a couple of climbing walls would probably be about as small as we would go.
Okay. So do you have different themes for the adventures so they're different?
Yeah, absolutely. We can customize all that. So for theming, we're certainly able to make anything that you want to have look a certain way, do that. So we have major partners throughout the world. They're very well-known companies that are in your city of Orlando, and I'll leave it at that. But those particular partners of ours, they want to have something that looks very much their concept or their theming. And
Okay.
that's something that we're happy to do.
Which is your favorite theme?
Ooh, good question. I think for me, I really like a natural look theme. Outdoors, we can make it look like it's bark or make it look like it's green, even though I guess not make it look like it's green. It really is green. But that natural look is really appealing to me and is very often used with our outdoor installations.
Do you have a video game theme?
Ooh, we don't, but I'm open to it. We did do a theme for a project in Japan, which was Bob the Builder type of theme. So that one was all construction related and that sort of thing. So that one was neat too.
Cool. Well, if you could think of one thing that would make your job easier or better, what would it be?
I would say if I were able to easily explain the differences between our product, which is, again, super unique, especially in the States here. We have 20 some patents that nobody else can do what we can do for safety, for design, for all of those things. If I was able to easily show prospective clients what does that look like and why is that important, and have them understand all those different things fully, that probably would make my job a lot easier.
Okay. So what is the craziest situation that you've run into while working with these building attractions?
I think when we do a cruise ship installation, it's pretty crazy. There are 3,000 or 4,000 workers in a dock working on a cruise ship at once, and logistically, we have to fight for equipment time and make sure that we can work around somebody putting in a basketball court, which is right underneath our ropes course.
Wow.
So it's definitely a challenge. They're almost always overseas, in Spain or in France. Those are very
Jeez.
often places that we go to install on cruise ships, and we've done it. We'll always
Wow.
figure out a way to do it, but it can be challenging.
What advice would you give to my listeners if they want to grow up and work in the theme park and attraction industry?
Well, I think education is important. I didn't go to school with the idea that I would be selling ropes courses and climbing walls and human mazes when I was in my late teens and early 20s. But I did go to school with the idea that I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but I knew that education was going to open doors for me. And so I think no matter what industry your listeners and your viewers get involved with, and you yourself, getting that schooling is important, and not to minimize any other professions because there's a ton of them that are great as well. But if you want to work in our world, typically there is some education that's going to make that path a little easier.
Okay. Now, my dad showed me some photos of your attractions. They're really big. Do you have any
Yeah.
options for a business that has a small space to put in?
Yeah, so certainly climbing walls don't take up a ton of room. We can do that. We do have other products that we're developing constantly that can fit in those smaller spaces. So, every year or 2 years, we're coming out with a new product and trying to figure out how we can do that. What we're finding is in the family entertainment world, which are places like Chuck E. Cheese and Main Event and Andretti and those types of businesses where they have arcades and food and beverage and bowling very often. Well, those types of businesses are going into spaces that have lower ceilings now. They're taking stores like Sears and J.C. Penney's that have closed, and they're trying to put their product in there, but the ceilings are low. So our traditional ropes course doesn't fit in. So our goal now is to try to figure out how do we create a product that's still exciting, still creates revenue for them, is safe, and people want to do.
Okay. So when you were a kid, what did you want to do when you grew up? Did you always know you were going to be working with fun attractions?
No, I wanted to be a radio announcer.
Ooh.
I used to record myself, make fake shows. I went to school for journalism. I started working in radio when I was 20 and did that for 10 years. And then my road, like a lot of people's roads when they become a
Wow.
certain age, just kind of winds around, and this led me here.
Well, what was the greatest challenge that most people in the attraction industry are dealing with today?
I think the greatest challenge that people in our world deal with is creating attractions that are unique, that are like nothing that their competitors have, and then figuring out how can those become profitable and how can those be marketed. So, I mean, that is where we fit in. It's creating a unique attraction and utilizing space very often that's above existing attractions that can still generate more revenue for those businesses.
Okay. What was the first job that you've ever had?
My first job was selling Christmas trees when I was 12. I also delivered newspapers. Back then, newspapers were brought by hand. So
Huh.
I did that. I did a paper route, and I sold Christmas trees for a family farm.
Huh. Well, was there anything you learned from that job that helped you to work with these attractions?
I think the paper route was great, and it's too bad that paper routes aren't around anymore because it taught me I had to be on
How to
time.
ride a bike.
I had to ride a I had to ride a bike. I had to be there every day. I had to collect money. I had to deal with people as a young kid. Those were all really important and carried over to probably almost everything I've done since.
Well, who helped motivate or inspire you the most in following your dreams?
Hmm. I think an easy answer is to say your parents help to motivate and inspire you. I don't know if there's any one person. I think that my when I look back on my life, there was many factors from friends and family, and I certainly believe we're all a product of our environment to a certain extent, and we have decisions to make. But
Okay.
but my environment, when I look back, led me to always wanting to work. I've always wanted to make my own money, and I've always wanted to do a good job. And that's kind of my philosophy anytime I go into anything.
Okay. Well, what message do you want to tell children all over the world about doing the work that you do?
Well, kids, are you listening to me here, children? No, I'm kidding. Um, Again, I think education's important. I think following your dream and realizing that your dream for now could change, and keeping those opportunities and ideas open is something that is very important. And I don't want to sound cliche. I don't want to, just sound like anything you want to do, you can do, even though I believe that. But I think understanding that life is going to throw you curveballs, learning to adapt and giving it your all when you get an opportunity, wherever that is very important.
Okay. Well, if you could go back 10 years and tell yourself something, what would it be?
I think I'd probably tell myself to value my time more 10 years ago than I did.
Okay.
Kind of a bummer answer, but it's something that you will hear your whole life. Your audience will hear their whole life, which is time's quick, time goes fast, and
That's
it's
true.
easy to say that, yeah. But when I look back, I wish I probably would have focused on some other things from time to time as opposed to just what I focused on 10 years ago.
Okay. Well, what was the biggest mistake you ever made, and how did it change you as a person?
I don't know if I have a good answer for that. Biggest mistake I ever made. I don't live my life with regrets. I don't look back and think I should have done this differently. I wish this would have happened. When I look back, I view life as I was supposed to do this. This made sense, even though it didn't at the time. And look where I am now. And that's always been kind of my path that I lead. I don't look back with regret, but I do look back with acknowledgement and thankfulness for what happened.
Wow. So when you're not working, what do you do for fun?
Yeah. So I love bowling. I know you're a big bowler yourself. Love to bowl. I love to golf.
I
Love to
love
hang out with
golfing
my
too.
kids. You do?
Yeah.
Oh, good. You and I are like the same people, only you're younger, and I've had laser surgery to correct my vision, and you haven't yet.
Well, no, not yet.
Right. But I love those things. I like to travel. I like coming to Florida and visiting. Been there many times. So those are the things that I really like to do besides, coming into work.
Okay. So do you play video games? And if you do, what's your favorite one?
So I play games on my phone. Does that count?
Yes.
Clash of Clans is my favorite game. Ooh. Have you heard of Clash of Clans?
Yes. Everyone.
Okay.
I feel like everyone's heard of that game.
Okay. So I've been playing Clash of Clans every day of my life for the last 10 years, probably. So there's not a day that goes by that I don't check it, collect my things, do a battle, whatever that is. But that's by far my favorite game. And I think, the fact that no matter where I've been, I've always opened that thing every day. They've done a really good job of hooking me in.
So are you really interested of checking your thing every day?
Every day.
Well, then I have a game for you.
No, I don't even want to. Okay, go.
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go?
Pokemon Go. It is an amazing game. Trust me,
okay.
I have it. It is amazing. I think you would like it.
Is that the one where you got to go around and find them?
Go around in the world and collect Pokemon. Yes.
Okay. I will look into it. I'm a little scared at liking it too much.
Well, you like Clash of Clans.
I do, but that takes up so much of my time already.
You can fill a little bit of time in.
Okay. All right.
Collect some Pokestops.
I'm going to blame you then when my wife says, why are you so into this Pokemon game?
Okay. Well, what is your favorite book to read?
I don't read books. Bad answer, but I love reading about current events. I like reading the news. I like reading Wikipedia. I like getting lost in Wikipedia.
The newspaper?
I used to when they published the newspaper all the time. But I don't really read books.
Okay. Now, can you tell me that one story? Remember, this is a kid's show. But that one story, that you're not supposed to tell me about. Come on, you can tell me.
Okay. As long as it's between me and you only.
Sure.
1998 Olympics. I'm in Nagano, Japan. There's a speed skating competition. I'm on the start-finish line. They make an announcement that says no flash photography. Back then, you had a disposable camera, so you would take pictures. It was before even digital cameras were that available. Well, I wanted this picture. The people were lined up at the starting line. I'm like, this is a really cool picture. So I take the picture. The speed skaters go off. These are the guys that go around the track. If you've ever seen that, they go at really high rates of speed. They wear the funny costumes. So they come back to the star, and back then again, you couldn't tell what the picture looked like. I had a disposable camera. So I'm like, I better take another picture just to be sure. I take another picture. These two false start again, come to realize they're looking for a flash, not listening for the sound of the gun to false start. So I'm responsible for 2 false starts in an Olympic event.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Holy cow! Huh?
But don't tell anybody.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anything else you think my listeners should know about you?
I think what your listeners should know is that our goal always as a company is to make attractions that look really cool. They're super fun to go on. They generate revenue for our business owners and partners, but also they're super safe. We don't want anybody getting hurt. We want to make sure that there's a thrill there because that is part of our attraction. But if something happens where someone slips, there is no risk of them getting injured beyond a skinned up knee or something like that.
Okay. They can't like fall down, flip upside down, and hit their head.
Nope. They can't flip upside down. They can't hit their head. They can't do anything beyond, something that a Band-Aid should take care of. Okay.
Well, do you have a Facebook or website for my teachers that want to follow you?
Yeah, absolutely. We're on Facebook. If you search RCI Adventure Products, you'll find us. Our website is rciadventure.com. All the social media channels we're out there. So if you just search for ropes courses, you're probably going to find us that way too. Okay.
What is that one question that you think I forgot to ask you?
Ooh, I like that question. Good question. You forgot to ask me about my kids, which are the most important things in my life. So,
what about your kids?
Thank you. Good idea for you to ask about them. So my oldest is a junior in Central Michigan. He's heavily involved in video games. He just traveled to Columbus to participate in a video game tournament. I won't tell you anything more because I don't know anything more. My youngest is a senior in high school. He's great. He loves bowling and golf and all the things that you and I love as well. And they're both really great kids, and I'm proud of them.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you, Steve, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
I'm here.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners!
And now it's time for Math Corners. Thank you so much, Steve, for helping me with Math Corners. This week, we're going to talk about some more multi-step problems. My dad is always good at finding for new problems for me to solve. Today, we're going to talk about classroom chairs. So, in Mrs. Bell's classroom, there are red chairs, yellow chairs, and blue chairs. There are 8 red chairs, and there are 5 times as many yellow chairs as red chairs. And then there are 8 fewer blue chairs than yellow chairs. So how many chairs are in Mrs. Bell's classroom? Well, this is a real-world situation because we do know that schools always has chairs in the classroom, and sometimes they can be different colors. But this seems like a lot of chairs. But let's try it anyway. So to solve this problem, you have to determine how many chairs of each color. First, we already know that there's 8 red chairs, so that's good. Now, there are 5 times as many yellow chairs, so 5 times 8, which is 40 yellow chairs. Now, there are 8 fewer blue chairs than yellow, so 40 minus 8 is 32 yellow chairs. Now, you just have to add up all the chairs. So 8 plus 40 is 48, and now you add 32, and you get 80 chairs. Has to be a really big classroom.
That is a big classroom. They better have more than one teacher.
So, Steve, have you ever seen a classroom with 80 chairs?
I think I have. If you go to college, there's certainly lecture halls that have 100 or 150 chairs in them, but definitely nothing outside of that.
I was thinking of gym class.
Gym class? Well, what would the chairs do in there? That's not a very good gym class.
Bleachers.
That
can fit, I bet, at least like 150 people.
Yeah. Nope. All right, you got me.
So now, Steve, my teacher said that I always use math every day. Do you use math in your work?
We use math all the time. We need to look at things like weight loads from our engineering department, which is math. We need to look at things like clearances, which is math. We need to understand weights of people that go on the course, or how tall are they. Those are all things that math relates to. So absolutely, we use math.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Steve, for your help with Math Corners.
Absolutely.
See David Smith Law.com.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
Wait, you are not Chuck.
My dad can help when people get hurt. He loves to help people.
If you are ever injured at work or in a car accident, you should call my friend Chuck.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
That website again is cwsmithlaw.com.
Offices, Orlando.
Does it actually have that much W's?
And now it's time for the Heart of a Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living by the Heart of a Lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and ability. This week, we're going to talk about leadership. For me, I think leadership is the act of loving what is good, having self-control, and being disciplined. The qualities of leadership are providing guidance and direction, organization, and being a positive influence on others. So I saw leadership with my friend Jake's mom. Jake's mom came up with a great idea to get some parents at my school to show kids how to donate to charity. Each family worked to donate some money to the Salvation Army. Jake and his family put together $20 to give. Other families also donated. This means that Jake's mom providing guidance and direction not only to Jake, but to other people to follow, and everyone was a positive influence by donating money to the Salvation Army, which helps a lot of people. So Steve, did you see or use leadership at all this week?
I certainly did. You know, in our world, we have leaders in different areas here. We have a leader of our manufacturing team. We have a leader of our engineering team. We have a leader of our design team. I have a leader I report to in our sales world. And then we've got our leader who's the owner of our company. And all those people are extremely important for us as a group to make sure that we're following along and understanding that message. I try to do the same with anybody I talk to. I try to lead them to a path of understanding. I try to lead them to a path of honesty. And I try to make sure that what we're giving somebody is exactly what they're planning on, with nothing hidden, and them fully understanding what it is that we're going to do for them.
Okay. Well, of all of the Heart of a Lion virtues, which is the one that you see the most?
I mean, for me, integrity is the one that I see the most and I strive for the most. I want to be honest, and this is not just work related. It's how I parent. It's how I live. It's what I value in people. Integrity is important. Doing what you say, following through with what you say you're going to do, and being completely upfront when something happens that's not what you planned. Those are all things that I value, and I think it's the most important part of those characteristics there.
Okay. We should always try and be lion strong in everything we do, shouldn't we?
We should, yeah.
And that's our show, folks. I want to be the one, the only, the amazing Steve Morse for being on my show. It has been so much to talk about today. I think we learned a lot about climbing adventure attractions, and I can't wait to try one myself.
Well, we can't wait to have you on one.
Thank you. And also, do you mind giving your social media again?
Sure. RCIAdventure.com. You can find us there. Search for us on your other media channels, Instagram, Facebook, everything that you go on, and you will find us on those as well.
Also, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Tiberius Show. And please be sure to visit The Tiberius Show on YouTube and like and subscribe. Also, be sure to listen to us next week on The Tiberius Show. The host, Tiberius!